broadcast section to do, man? Yourself.
Okay, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Good, thank you. This is going to start off on team news and updates on as well.
Both progressing. Both won't make the squad on Thursday, but making progress. So probably Vladdy certainly chance for Newcastle. Lucas will just have to see how he responds, but certainly for Leicester, no.
Okay, lovely, thank you. I just also wanted to, I guess, the other big result against Arsenal, and a lot of the narrative around that has been Arsenal dropping points in their title, and Leicester much of the focus on what it means to your side. And I know a lot of the times when we've spoken to you, it's been a long-term plan developing this team. You've been focusing on fitness, and in some way, does it feel like now what you're doing on the training pitch and what you're doing in the game are now aligning a bit more?
Well, I mean, I think I've also said that we understand that you have to get results. I know I've been in the game long enough, 30 years nearly, so you know that you have to get results, and then it's a question of how you get those. I think we've focused as much as we can on our daily work, because that's the bit that you can control. That's the bit that I think if you do that well over a period of time can get you the rewards. It obviously doesn't happen overnight, because it's too easy to happen overnight. All those things have to take a bit of while, but the performance and the result at the weekend gives us confidence and belief that going forward, it's not to say that we've cracked it, and it's not to say that everything's easy now, because it's certainly not, but at least it gives us an indication of what is possible, and then we have to keep working.
And taking that momentum into this game against Leicester, I guess a difficult situation for them with combating relegation. Just what can you anticipate from your first side?
Well, in the Premier League, every game is complicated, every game is tough. The opponent's always got something to fight for, always got something to prove, always got some quality against you, and that's the case with Leicester. They'll be looking to turn their fortunes around. That's how football is. It's great. Just when you think there's no way forward, always something can come up, and just when you think that you've got it cracked, again something can come round and kick you. So you just we have to have a humility and a respect for the opponent, which we have, and then we have to understand that it's a tough game, and we need our supporters, and we need to try and play well, and we need to have a bit of luck and all the things that you need in a Premier League game, but we're expecting a tough game.
Do you feel with a sympathy for Ruud, I guess, considering that, like you mentioned, that things change in football quite easily, and the tide has changed a little bit more for him, that again, there's a lot of questions around his tenure at the club already, and it's probably a difficult situation if a manager, when you're trying to build results and you've got all of that noise around you, but what's sympathy for him?
Well, I understand, because we've all experienced it. Like I said, I've been in the game 30 years, so we know how it is. It's a combination of results in the short term to give you an opportunity to do something in the medium to long term. If you don't get those, then it can be a challenge. There's always a relationship between reality and expectation, and everybody has to fight with that. So all the jobs and mine and Ruud's and everybody's is complicated for different reasons. I've got enough to worry about, so I have to focus on myself and how challenging this job is. But at the same time, it's a fantastic club that I'm working for, and I'm really excited by it. I'm sure that's the same for Ruud.
Okay, Charlie.
Hi, Graham. I'll just grab them.
No problem.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
Nice to speak with you today. Just going back to the game on Saturday, first clean sheet under yourself at West Ham. How impressed were you in particular with the defensive performance against Arsenal?
No, very impressed. There was an understanding, and then there was a willingness, and because it's never going to be perfect, and then you just have to take the right decision or go with the right intention. And I thought the players did that really, really well. They covered each other and didn't just leave each other on their own. There was always support there. So all the actions that you want to see in a team, I think they were there. And that's why obviously we're really pleased, and I think that's why we enabled us to get the result we did.
I interviewed Max Hillman earlier, and he remains the only West Ham player to have started every single game this season, and he spoke a lot about wanting to become more of a leader in this side. You call Jarrod, exceptional as a leader. Do you see that in him? I mean, obviously he's been captain of Wolves, but do you see that in him? Is he already a leader in your dressing room?
Yeah, and I think it's something that he can develop more. I'm pretty sure that's how he's indicated himself. I think sometimes it just helps when the team functions better, the environment is more stable, that leaders can emerge. You can imagine these guys are young lads, really, young men, so it's hard enough to lead themselves, let alone lead others in the Premier League, because everything's so competitive. So I think if the team functions well and the environment's good, then people become more able to lead, and I think that's certainly the case with Max. He's got the potential to do that. He's quite a quiet guy, so he'll lead in a way that is his own way, but absolutely he's got the potential. And the good thing with Max is he's available all the time. He's there, he's ready, he's trains every day, plays all the games, so that's a good starting point.
And in terms of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I want you to ask you about him, because he's got this assist for Jarrod's goal on Saturday, and fans have been praising him. It looks like he's really developing at West Ham. What have you made of the way that he kind of combines his defensive duties and his attacking duties as well?
Yeah, he's been really, really impressive. I think the wing back role probably helps him a lot. Brings the best out of him. I think away at Aston Villa, when I think back to that game, the draw in the Premier League, and then obviously against Arsenal, I thought he was really impressive. He can do both sides of the game. So yeah, he's working away, and I'm delighted to have him.
And in terms of the show against Leicester, obviously back at home, you've lost your last two in the Premier League at home. So how much is that on your mind and on the players' minds that you really need to get back to winning ways at the London Stadium?
Well, as I've said before, I think every team wants to do well at home in front of their own supporters. As we can see, it's not that straightforward in the Premier League generally, but nevertheless for us, which is what we're concerned with, we want to do better in front of our own supporters. We want to play better. I think it's also a process. As I said, to be able to get the results you want, you need to perform in a way that you can recognise and have some consistency around performance. And for different reasons, we haven't been able to get that. It hasn't been from the want of trying. We're just still finding out a lot of things. But obviously, the game on Thursday is an opportunity for us to correct that. We're looking to win the game. We're looking to play well, because again, it helps you connect with your supporters and helps you bring that togetherness, which is really important for a football club.
And finally for me, I know you'll be fully focused on this game on Thursday, but after that, obviously you have the weekend off because of the FA Cup game. So how will you use that time? Will you get the players in training, or will you give them time off?
Well, no, I think we'll a combination of a couple of things. We'll make sure everybody's recovering properly, and then we've got a bit of a time to build up to the next match. So we'll get the one out of the way on Thursday first, see how that goes. And we've got a plan to make sure that we hit the next game in the best way. So we'll have to make sure we use the time wisely.
Okay, cameras off, please.